Hello, everybody. Game of Thrones, episode 9. I wasn't here last week. I didn't see the episode. Did I miss anything?
Not really. It was setting stuff up.
You know,
Kunk.
Ben, since this whole episode was about Jon Snow on the wall, God, man, you look even more like Jon Snow.
Yeah, he does.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No, he's
We talked about that before,
Benjen
right?
Stark right there.
Benjen Stark, nice call.
You messed up though. You missed a
it's the worst.
pretty important episode.
The worst. My fucking dad and turning 90. What a dick.
He couldn't have timed it better.
So real super quick question about that before we move on. When did you watch the episode since you missed it live?
Well, it was amazing. I couldn't see it Sunday. We had an event in New York Sunday night. Took the train to New York Sunday from D.C. back to D.C. Sunday night. There was no seeing it Sunday night at a hotel with a baby and get back late.
Right, because they don't have it in New York.
Right. No, but I mean, like, we got a baby. There's no, like, you
Select
can't even watch.
theaters.
I didn't want to watch it on my iPad,
Right.
like with earphones, huddled in the dark.
Yeah.
But I had to be super careful on Twitter, and I knew a thing happened. Like, I knew there was, like, people would say, like, don't read spoilers, and this week, definitely don't read. So I was like, but I knew the name of the episode, so I knew something was coming. But it was still as stunning as I suspect as I was to everyone else.
Did it blow your mind?
What's amazing is that we have spent too much time together, Cenk and I have, because I watched that episode as you would have watched that episode. So he's dancing around doing his little, "Ooh, look at me, I'm in control of this." And I'm like, this is too much hubris. Cenk would say, talking to Lee, I'm like, Cenk would say, this is too much hubris. He's fucking around. Finish him. Fucking finish him.
Well, that is almost quite literally exactly what I said.
Right. What are you doing? Just no. Oh, no. Yes. I did watch.
And then Anna was like, nope, not gonna
That
watch.
was a pretty famous thumbnail. All right, so this episode, Ben, what happened? And I got 100 questions that I want John to fill me in on.
Wait, right, before we launch into it, I just want to say, because we went north in this episode, I am rocking the White Walker t-shirt from Lexad.com.
Hard to tell, yeah.
There should be a little banner, and there's in the description, link.
Pull your t-shirt tight, like that, so they can see that is
That is a White Walker.
That's a White Walker.
I think that makes him look so much more ripped, actually, that shirt.
Yeah, I've been looking for a shirt that'll save me time in the gym.
I can't wait till we get Jimmy Walker in this show.
Exactly.
Okay, this is not Lex Head. Obviously, it's TYT, right? But that's because I was so nervous that Tyrion was going to die in this episode.
You had to be strong.
That I was like, I wasn't sure I wanted to wear the Lannister shirt.
Yeah.
Because I wear the Lannister shirt for Tyrion, right? And if he dies, then I got to go.
Hulk out.
And then I got to go topless for the review. So now I got to do that next week.
You gotta wear that shirt, and if he dies, you gotta just completely Hulk out.
Oh, that's a good idea, and it's a red and yellow shirt just like Hulk. Oh, Matt Atchity with the idea of the week.
We gotta plan ahead. We gotta do a little pre-rip.
Yeah, like he did, right. Well, if he dies, I won't need the pre-rip.
I don't understand why people aren't buzzing about my consistent wardrobe type of a different baseball team in my leather jacket. It's so
Much like
appropriate.
Jamie
And this
Lannister.
week I've gone with the Pirates because, right. So,
Sell it or send, right there.
That would have been more appropriate.
So this was a strange episode, and maybe Matt or John know this better, not so much from the books, but just from being smarter and paying attention in a different way than Cenk and I do. I don't know that we've ever had an episode so directed as just one story, where we only follow
We
one story.
talked about that a little bit.
No way we've had that.
I remember the Battle of the Blackwater being just the fight.
maybe.
I mean, they did like they went to Cersei and Sansa underneath
But
the
that was
keep and
all
everything.
entirely
but it was all
King's
within,
Landing.
and that was much like Gilly, I guess, being underneath. Like I think that
This
those are the two.
was tighter because that's a big King's Landing was the whole place under siege, so there was a bigger ground. But granted, that's the
they didn't
same
jump
idea.
around the world
But
or
this was a
anything like that.
very, very, very tight episode,
Yeah.
and in that way, it
Surprisingly.
stood out. And of course, we haven't been getting sort of significant storylines out of the wall. It's all been just like, oh man, it's coming, and we're the leaders, and we're dumb, and you're smart, and that's never going to change. And it didn't. And it turned out not only are we not smart, but some of us are cowards.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's not surprising.
a lot of brave men as well. Let's recognize their bravery.
Yeah, no, and who's the new leader? Well, I guess did he get killed? No, he was just wounded.
Alistair Thorne was wounded,
Right.
dragged off
But he
suspiciously into the darkness.
He was brave. There was no question he was
yeah.
brave.
Well, that's actually
And he was a
that's
good
one of the
fighter.
things
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about. Is one of the things people love about Game of Thrones is the bad people aren't irrationally evil. The good people aren't necessarily irrationally good. They're not
Yes,
the child of light. And even characters who are complete dickbags like Alistair Thorne, who you are led to hate, gives rousing speeches and does care about, leading the men. Like, he hates Jon Snow kind of irrationally, but he bravely goes into battle and everything. Like, he's a realistic person.
And he's got that really telling speech where he says, one of the challenges of being a leader is making a decision and sticking by it when everybody underneath you second guesses you, but you can't start second guessing yourself.
Then everybody dies.
Right. And
that was
sometimes
good.
you're wrong.
But that's right. But it was a really good speech. And we also learned from Alistair, right?
Alistair.
We also learned
Take
from
it up with George
Alistair
R. R.
what I
Martin,
now
okay.
believe, because I think now that you have to get British people to say the word C-U-N-T-S. That you can't do it if it's the Americanized version. But if you go ahead and say Kunz, everybody's like, funny. But you do the Americanized version of it, and you're like, no, you seriously,
What
dude.
decade is it?
Check yourself, okay? Inappropriate.
We also got one other Britishism. Yeah, exactly. You learned a word today.
Yeah, minge. I didn't know
The
minge.
ginger minge.
Oh, yeah, well, right. In
Doesn't that
context,
just be the ginge?
I guess.
Oh, that's
I felt like I was
interesting.
watching an episode of The British Office.
So that was actually the biggest thing that happened. I actually didn't love this episode. Heads exploding. Okay, I'll get
There
to that
were
in a
not
second.
enough heads exploding.
But I want to mention like 3 different things you just mentioned. But so the biggest thing happening was that thing you do with your tongue dying, right? But it's okay. She was a ginger. She had no soul anyway. Okay, random South Park reference. Okay, so let me ask a couple questions. The guy who used to have the city wall, the guard of the
Jenna
city,
Slint.
the coward who was hiding with the girl.
Yeah, the frogman.
Right. So why did remind me how he got sent to the wall?
Yeah. So Tyrion. So basically,
that's what I
when
thought,
Tyrion was making his ascent to actually being like an effective hand of the king, he was trying to consolidate power, put people he could trust into positions of authority. And so Jenna Slint had been sort of a toady that was answering to Cersei, and so he did his little machinations at a great dinner scene where he was having a dinner with Jenna Slint, and sends him away to the wall and replaces him with
Did we see
Sir
that, or is
Bywater,
that
I
only
believe.
the book?
You see that?
you
They,
see
they
that
had a
dinner
great little
scene.
dialogue scene where he turns on him.
Was there any good reason, or no? He just
He didn't trust him.
He was
at
loyal
all.
to Cersei, and he would have stabbed him.
No,
Exactly.
I meant
Yeah.
like theoretical reason. But okay,
There might have been other reasons that I'm forgetting, but
he
basically
was an
couldn't trust
asshole.
him.
So then we go.
And a coward,
I
turns
wanted
out.
to mention the Jon Snow thing because you were saying there's no black and white, although in this case they were all black in the Night's Watch. Okay. Anyway.
And there's White Walkers.
Right. That's true. But Jon Snow is pretty close, right? Like when Samwell Tarly is asking him about the love and what did it feel like, etc., and like he gets mad at the idea that Samwell Tarly might have had sex and broken his vows with the other girl. Well, first of all, that's pretty convenient of you. I had to do in order to fake my allegiance to the wildlings. I had to have sex, so that doesn't count. But you having sex. But I mean, dude, you're all
You
gonna
wanting to have sex.
Yeah, you're all gonna die. Shut up with the fucking honor. You're
Right,
driving me crazy.
But I didn't interpret that conversation that way at all.
How
I
did
thought
you interpret it?
I interpreted it as sort of this sort of mentor-like, that he was like, did you? And he would have, did you break your vow?
Really? No.
Oh no, I thought they were speaking honestly. He wasn't disapproving of breaking the vow. And in fact, he didn't even want to talk about it because he's, as they said, I'm not, what did he say? I'm not much of
I'm not a poet.
I'm no poet. Yeah. No,
and
you're
like
not.
I said, we saw what happened last episode to the poet.
I really didn't. I didn't interpret it that way at all. But
I saw it as like two guys who are clearly nervous, scared, worrying, awkward dialogue, and Jon Snow is not used to talking about his love life because he's never really had a love life, and so he was sort of awkwardly trying to describe it.
So I'm kind of disappointed in Mance Rayder. So here is a guy who is probably the greatest leader in the known world. Not just, let's say he's obviously not in Westeros, in the known world. And I say that because he united these 100 different tribes which were ununitable. Giants are working for him, which is unthinkable, right?
Yeah.
Like how in the world did he do that?
They're usually pretty lazy.
Yeah. But this testing the wall, meanwhile losing your southern flank, I don't know, man. That's not the direction I would have gone. I think you can test the wall that night and keep going. You see what I'm saying? Oh, okay, I got it. They got that thing that swings, that knocks the people off the wall, yada, yada. And one of my giants lifted the fucking gates. Let me send 10 or 20 more of the giants through.
Well,
go
but
for the gate! Go for the gate!
But Mance at this point hasn't gotten the reports. This is the first time he's really been able to encounter how lightly defended Castle Black is. He's got no idea. He's all along has
He
thought,
expected thousands of
he
men.
expected-
So I don't know. I mean, I find that to be peculiar nitpickiness. Like,
Really?
yeah, because
I
I mean,
feel the southern
He
flank
can
was super
afford
important.
to do what he's doing.
Well,
and it did its damage.
But it wasn't a flank. It was more reconnaissance than anything else, right? Because she comes back and says, what's her name? Ygritte comes back and says, "There's hardly anyone there. They've only got a few people. We should go attack." They weren't really planning on attacking.
And reconnaissance makes no sense because you can send the owl from the guy with the no eyes. So that's your reconnaissance, right? You don't need to go lose some of your best men.
Well, it was reconnaissance / a terror campaign of killing all the
And
people.
walkie-talkies.
You know what's really funny is that, like, if this was real, Mance Rayder would be like, "Listen to this fucking twat nitpicking me. I need to know in a fucking 100
And
armies."
also with the giant.
Monday morning war backing, you know?
With the giant, I mean, obviously the Giants were trying to lift the gate or break the gate, but when he lifted it, it was only in response to the fireball, everyone running away. He was so enraged, he ran up and lifted it. It wasn't part of
his cousin giant got shot.
Yeah,
I don't.
Mr. Numbers got
killed.
stabbed, and so Mr. Wrench was lifting up the. You don't watch
Are we
Fargo.
ever going to see the Giants have sex?
I don't.
I hope so, but not with each other.
They
with
have
humans.
big feet. I think you're overstating Mance's importance, greatness, and like. Also, his like, how would you lose so many of your? He doesn't give a shit. He's got 100,000 people. He didn't care.
Yeah,
He
what did he lose?
11,
A couple
what
hundred?
did he lose? Right, 1,500 guys on the first day. Doesn't care. Like they now know. Like there's no. Also,
And they
they
wouldn't wear
exposed
down
everything.
the wall.
There's no more. There's no secret left now, right? Like he saw. They've now seen everything. In how the wall gets defended, and there's not even going to be that kind of ice left. And
they killed like half the men. Ygritte killed like half the men, counting
Again,
arrows.
up until that battle, Mance is coming into this thinking that the wall has been defended the way it always has of legend, that there's thousands of guys at the top of there, and that there's hundreds of guys in each castle. And the whole thing for this whole season, you know, that's why they
to maintain the secrecy.
That's why they went out to Craster's Keep. Like, oh shit, don't let Mance find out that there's only 100 of us.
Yeah.
We'll be fucked. Now Mance knows.
He's not by now, though, but his southern flank is totally gone. So, like, they hit the wall.
It's also not. But it's not a flank. You're looking at it the wrong way.
Okay.
Like that was a scouting party, right? That was not a flank. You flunked flank.
he also.
Because Mance now knows that there's probably 50 surviving guys at the castle. That's why Jon is walking out there to face him down man to man, right? He knows that Mance is the glue that's going to hold it all together. So if he takes Mance out, then Jon thinks the whole thing is going to evaporate. But he knows that like it's too late to defend as an army. Like the only choice that he sees is I got to go take this guy out.
Or he has something, or he has a twist planned with Mance, like. When they learn there's only 50 people left, you know you can't unite these guys. They'll kill us, and then they'll all just fend for themselves. Like, you need us, or we need some other story to keep this army together.
Or he'll join the wildlings again.
Okay, so look, I don't know. I don't know if you can
Because
seal the
Redhead you
gate.
gave me is dead.
Yeah, I need
Can
another
get
one.
So when Jon Snow asked Samwell Tarly, like, what's your plan, right? I would have been like, seal the gates right the fuck now, okay? And maybe we can hold it because they can't get up the wall. Getting up the wall, it turns out, is super hard. Whether it was flank or not, the southern half is gone. So the only way to get through is the gates.
They have half the men to defend it. And if you put men up at all hours of the day, you got 50 people. How long can they cover 10 miles of wall? Like they're going to need to sleep.
They can't get up at that spot, right?
yeah.
But the wall is miles long.
Hundreds of miles long.
Hundreds of miles long. The other castles aren't manned, and Mance is going to find that out.
Well, that's a fair point.
And like also Mance is like assuming
he's Caesar.
I mean it's frustrating because of course some of these people in his army they're not bad people. In fact, they're the workers of the world. They're and they've been screwed for a long time. But the people on the wall in many ways have been screwed. I mean it would be an alliance if they weren't sort of and it was great that we had that line from the doctor, right? From the blind Meister. from Aemon Targaryen.
Doc Brown.
Oh, you took notes. Nice job.
But because he's like, yeah, look, they think we did horrible things to them. We think they did horrible. And his point is, nobody did horrible things to anybody. We just did the things that men do to each other.
And Jorah had
war.
that line, there's good and evil on every side of every war that's ever been fought. But the most important thing you got to bear in mind about Mance Rayder is that he is not aware that there is only one episode left in the season. So he's slow rolling this thing.
Well, that's why I didn't love this episode. But But this is what I've been trying to say all along is I sympathize with the wildlings. I really do. Like, I think that the Targaryen fellow who's now the Maester is absolutely right.
Yeah,
like,
that hornball.
Yeah, I mean, all we ever did was, and then the wildling is right. They come and they put this fucking wall here, and all they do is come and kill us and kill us and kill us. And the wildlings, remember, are free. Whereas the assholes on the wall are like, honor, we will not have sex with anybody, we'll ruin our fucking lives. You know, like, and
totally,
we'll dominate those guys, and all we'll ever do is kill them and not have any fun with our lives.
They're on a mission for
I'd be a wildling.
But those guys, right, of course, we'd all be wildlings, but the people on the wall.
You're Jon Snow.
It is fucking
I'm Jon
cold.
Snow,
up
right? I
there.
didn't
But here's the other thing. Have we all forgotten why Mance has united everybody and they're moving south?
Yeah, because the White Walkers are coming.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So however bad
I did
the
forget
Night's
that, by
Watch
the way.
is,
I totally forgot
there's
that.
fucking
Yeah.
zombies.
It's the shirt.
Right? I mean, part of how Mance has been able to unite everyone is that there are fucking zombies coming for everyone. Right? So.
And also, yes, that's right. So maybe, like, I figure John's not going to kill. I figure this is, you guys know, but I figure there's negotiation coming, especially in relation to the White Walkers, because, like, I mean, also, once you clear us, you clear the wall, and it's a significant army moving forward, but it's a while, you'll start infighting. You're not going to, at some point, you're going to run into a real army who can beat you.
Of zombies.
Right.
Yeah.
On one side, and you're going to be
Lannister
caught in the
or-
middle.
yeah.
So, you know, my hunch is that, because it seems a little, to your point, if his plan is, I'm going to kill Mance and then it all falls apart and the wall lives, it's a little weak to me. That everything, that they just, turn and go back? Because they can't go back, they know what's coming.
Yeah, I hear you. But if I was Mance Rayder, having learned the lesson of Oberyn and every other lesson in Game of Thrones, I'd be like, oh, look, there's Jon Snow. Gone. Okay.
Wait, so he's not been watching?
Take a gun, shoot him in the head. Okay.
Mance hasn't been watching. He doesn't know what happened at that trial. Do you think he's getting news
I
reports?
know, but I wouldn't
Well,
get
maybe if
killed
he went on
trial by
Twitter,
combat or anything
it might have
like
been
that.
spoiled if he went on social media.
Right.
Now, Ygritte dies. Did anybody care that much?
No, it was a nice little emotional scene, but they had been kept apart for a long time,
Yeah.
so no, you
And
know.
they had one of the purest sort of relationships kind of that we had. They had their moment on top of the wall looking out over the south of the wall. Like, they had some of the more sweet moments, like talking about the dresses in the towers and
Never
stuff like
leaving
that.
the cave, and, you know. They,
Yeah.
The cave was a symbol. Okay,
Yeah.
I would have been more distraught if Samwell Tarly had died.
Oh, I think we all would have.
Oh,
But
is that right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so that's consensus? Okay.
And Sam had that great line, when you're nothing at all, there's no more reason to be afraid. The guy says, but you're afraid. No, why are you afraid now? And he's like, I'm not nothing anymore, because he has love all of a sudden, and he kissed the girl, and they're gonna.
But yet the irony is that love is the death of duty.
That's right. But,
But
love is
that's
the death
why
of
I'd be a
duty.
wildling, because
Yeah.
fuck duty.
So I want to talk about that, actually. So they keep repeating the love is the death of duty, and you can sort of think about some of the characters who have succeeded up until now and some who have fallen. Some of them, went for, like Robb Stark. He was a big fan of love. Didn't work out too well for him in the end. But I wonder, though, like, those guys, they defended the wall. They defended the tower. Like, they didn't do it because of romantic love, but they did do it because of love for each other and, camaraderie and stuff like that, love for the people down south that they're protecting. Like, the cowards are the ones who don't have anything strong enough to fight for. Like, it's the people who have something, some passion, something inside of them that actually stick, fight giants and stuff like that.
I think you have a point about some of the guys on the wall, but let's
Some of them,
remember
Yeah,
that,
remember,
like,
some of them
that-
are legitimate rapers and pillagers.
Right.
But even the rapers and pillagers, how many people did we see there who have tried to avoid combat? Geno Slint, basically, right? Everybody else, even Pip, who was scared, even the guy in the tunnel with Gren, who was scared, they did eventually fight.
Well, there's two things about that. Number one, they thought, what choice do I have? I'm going to die here tonight anyway, right?
true, yeah.
Like, if I was them, I would have assumed 100% death. Like, I'm shocked they lived through the night, right? I would have been shocked if I was there even more, right? And then the second thing is...
how the fuck did I end up here?
Right,
Yeah.
is that Samwell Tarly had clearly the line of the episode, if you ask me, where she said, why are you going out there? He's like, because that's what men do. And I
Yeah.
was like, yes,
Yeah,
that's
that was
what we
the best
do.
moment he's had.
So, and it's super
remember-
ironic because
They kissed
in the end, I would have done my duty. I mean, I say fuck duty, but the reality is,
you
I
would.
believe in duty.
Because you believe in, and you don't walk away from your guys who you've been with.
Yeah.
Right.
And how about his growth, just from being, cowering in the face of the drills,
Yeah.
when he first got to the Night's Watch to now saying that's what he finally finds love and he's going to leave it in the room and walk upstairs where he's likely to die. I think the line of the night belonged to Ygritte when who was her redheaded friend?
Tormund Giantsbane,
Right.
or AKA Tormund Bearfucker.
Right, yeah. You never fucked a bear.
I don't want to talk about a bear you didn't fuck.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
I love the implication that he's told that story many, many, many times.
And
Which is
also just
awesome.
right away he's like, you're right,
talking about the bear.
I never fucked a bear. Oh,
At the end when she says, "You know nothing, Jon Snow." That was a nice
Well,
little
but also,
moment.
we should have stayed in the cave. Like, maybe they should have stayed in the cave.
That's not a bad point
Listen,
either.
I'd have stayed in that cave with her.
Yeah.
At least for a couple days.
Yeah, and she'd have
left.
stayed with you because of the thing you do with your tongue.
I would have stayed in the cave because there was a bath there.
Yeah, that's a good
It's a
point.
rare moment for people in Game of Thrones. I mean,
And sorry,
Because he
one last
remembers.
thing. Ygritte made the same mistake everybody in Game of Thrones makes right before they died. She hesitated.
she what?
She hesitated.
Yeah, right.
She had him in her sights, hesitated, was
Was she going to shoot him?
Was she going to shoot him?
Well,
I
that's
don't know,
the great thing
he
about
smiled. He was happy to see her. It was almost like two-way. Like either you're not going to kill me and I'm going to get to hug you, right? Or you're going to kill me, which is how it should be, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
I had this coming.
I had this coming. Thank God it's you and you're alive. I'm so happy to see that.
And if I had anyone to kill me, it would be you.
But
But I want to know.
That's romance.
If she had had 5 more seconds, would she have shot him?
that's the great thing about Game of Thrones. So I'm watching it, and I'm sitting there, and I didn't get in to watch it with you guys. I'm sitting at home literally on the edge of my bed, and I'm like, she's not going to kill him. We can't kill Jon Snow. And all these things go through your mind in this incredibly tight period of time, and you're like, it's Game of Thrones. She might shoot him between the fucking eyes, and it'll come out the back,
Right,
and his
nobody
brains
stays
will
in this
burst
fucking
out.
show.
Right? Of course he could die. He could die right here. I'm like, oh my God, he might die. He might die. Oh no, somebody shot her! Oh fuck, it was the poor kid! And then the kid gives the nod like he wants to be got her.
That kid's never getting the job now.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And Jon Snow, of course, wants to say, "You know nothing, kid."
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm on Sam's advice. Pick up a weapon and fight. That's what and he killed
Right.
him.
Remember, they reminded me during the show he was the best archer in the village among
Yeah.
the kids.
Oh, right,
There
right,
was a little line.
Why is it in
But
television?
do you think she would have?
No, I don't. But
You don't?
I don't.
Okay, what do you guys think?
No, I think there is no answer, and that was one of the good things about this episode.
Princess and the Tiger.
Like the fact that there was like that you don't know and you'll never know is a cool part of Game of Thrones. There is no answer, okay? And so now I've mentioned a bunch of cool things that I liked about the episode. I'm still going to get to what I didn't like in a second, but we have to mention the third thing that I really liked in the episode. So Sam Tarly's line, "We'll never know what Ygritte was going to do." And the fucking giants.
Yeah.
Okay. So those giants were badass. And then when he's charging the gate, he's like, and the guys are there. And when he starts getting them to recite the oath, I was like, that's Game of fucking
It's really all about
Thrones.
the giant with that bow that's the size of a mangonel and just like throws the guy right
Nice
over the
reference, by
fucking
the way.
wall. Thank you.
And
put him over the
riding
wall.
the fucking woolly mammoth, that was badass.
That mammoth must have been thinking like, I'm big, but this is fucking ridiculous. Get the fuck off me.
but like, but I don't understand. Like they're reciting the oath, and I know it's a cool moment. Of course, you like it. I like it. It's a good moment. But I'm like, okay, you're doing that. Then what? Like
Then you fight. I don't know how.
What? Like I mean, again, it's like it's a little like
Merry and Pippin fought in Lord of the Rings like you fight things that are bigger
But it's
than
weird.
you.
It's weird that are we to actually that's not the outer gate, that little chain link fence, right? The second gate. I mean, they breach the outer gate, and then he's like, protect the inner gate or whatever.
I think there's
Must be
5
something.
or something
All right.
like that.
Okay, so
wait, before we move on to that, can I just say something
I
about
want to
that?
say something about that too, but go ahead.
Okay, so that scene of them, like, you know, that they know they're gonna die, they want to run away, but they start the chant, and they're willing to fight and they're willing to die. Like, I'm a complete nerd because I love fantasy and I love sci-fi, but especially fantasy. And I know that it was a hard sell for a lot of people to watch a show like this, and thankfully they didn't make it too fantasy. Like, they made it very realistic, just in a different time frame. But like, that scene is why I watch fantasy movies and TV shows, because you don't see that in The Wire. You know, like it's just that. And if you this is trivia for 5 years from now. My greatest weakness is scenes in shows and movies where people sacrifice themselves for someone else, especially if they say something beforehand. I cry at the end of Braveheart every single time. I cry when that dude flies his plane at the end of Independence Day up into the ship. I can't take when people sacrifice themselves.
You cry at Randy
I teared
Quaid?
up. It was a great moment. Hey, boys. No, I'm a sucker for people sacrificing. I teared up a little bit during that scene today.
So Steve-O every once in a while says things like, if you say something that's really revealing about yourself that's a little uncomfortable, he says, I really wish you hadn't said that. Like, for your sake, for everybody's sake, I didn't want to hear it.
For me,
like,
real.
you cried during Independence Day? I've cried during The Simpsons.
I'm not saying I cried like I do during, Homeward Bound, but I cried a little bit. I teared up a little bit. No, but Homeward Bound. Half the movie, I'm crying.
I didn't. I lost respect for John when he was like, it was the reason that I love fantasy. Just how the whole thing began.
I probably like
it does sound ridiculous when you change my voice like that.
Some of the things that I love most. Some of the things I love most are related to fantasy. Fantasy football, Game of Thrones, my favorite TV show of all time, etc. I just wish there was a different word than fantasy.
Whatever.
It's just, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, like, could we have a manlier, name than fantasy?
let's get to
I think this is what men do. They watch Game of Thrones.
What didn't
well, that's true.
I don't think anyone's going to call this their favorite episode. Oh, but before we get to that, because in the battles, I always love this, and Matt, you'll appreciate this as a veteran movie critic and movie analyst. First of all, the episode was brilliantly directed. I mean, just the number of shot moves to keep those battle sequences going.
That's exactly what he said while we were watching.
One shot.
Take
Yeah,
in the
it was
middle.
really
Like
great,
that-
really good.
Yeah.
Like you had a, even if you didn't always know what was happening, it didn't matter. I don't know how these guys don't kill each other because they all look the same. But
That's Braveheart for me too.
right,
They all
like,
look the same. They're
I'm
all
like,
covered in
why
blood.
don't you just stab the guy you just backed into? You don't know, right? Might as well
There's probably a lot of
got
that.
him too. I'm like, oh, that was Jerry. Sorry.
Jerry's at the wall.
But like there was one moment, and you sometimes get this in war movies too, but definitely in sword fighting movies on a wide shot, where two of the extras aren't really doing it, and go back and watch, and they're like.
It's like a tense take for them.
But and then I'm sure they see it, and they're like, ugh. But they're like, everything else is good. Things are moving. Fuck it.
Only
Just keep-
you two professionals
I didn't
saw
notice
it.
that.
We didn't see it.
No, like in the long shot, I definitely felt like they were nailing it at every point. It reminded me, like I said at the time, of like a Tony Jaa movie. Like those awesome fight scenes just keep on going.
The thing similar to that, the thing is, and this happens in any battle scene, no matter what the genre, but it always really bothers me, and I know from a dramatic standpoint why you have to do it. But when Jon Snow is cradling Ygritte, and everyone's still fighting, like when you're learning to fight, do you get the note from whoever's teaching you to fight? Like, if you see a guy cradling another dead guy,
he's off
like,
limits.
just that's not cool,
It's
man.
not cool.
It's not cool. Don't just run by and stab him.
Yeah, it's against fantasy etiquette.
That's like there was a lot of stuff that.
That happens in World War II movies too, right? Like
Yeah,
somebody's bleeding out, and the hero's holding him.
Germans were
Everyone's
like, skip him.
No, don't shoot him.
So, but that actually is exactly why I didn't love that scene. When I saw them doing like the standard movie, oh my God, my love, you have passed for me, right? I was like, I've seen that on
would've
100
been
movies,
nice
and
to
it's
see
kind of lame.
Like fighting people off as he's
Or
holding
I
her.
would have loved if she was like, I love you, but I gotta do this. She pulls him onto the arrow.
No, but that's exactly what I was afraid of.
Oh,
I was
really?
getting ready to do this because Jon Snow, I got one more fucking thing for you. Sorry, you played out before I did. I withdraw my combat.
What it should have been is, you know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, I thought there was
But from a realistic point of view-
55% chance that was going to happen.
Well, first of all, keep in mind they were literally behind a wall.
Yeah, they
like
were
the
away
whole
from the
thing.
fight.
The fight with the bald dude with that she when
that's
she
a
killed
great
Mr.
point.
Clean. So they were they were a
The
little,
scene that we will now call the Hammerhead.
the hammerhead, right? They were exempt from that, and only because the kid was there. So I
They
think
were
that's
behind
why.
like that little furnace area.
Although it wasn't clear, because you would like to see in that situation, then if they aren't, he like sees her wounded, drags her to safety to try and cradle her.
Yeah.
The way Sam
didn't
was,
care at that
because when
moment.
Sam was cradling the other guy, you knew
Yeah.
he was protected.
I thought she could get shot by. He could get shot
It's
by
weird,
Ygritte.
that, like, in all, and whether it's Game of Thrones or Saving Private Ryan, like there are people who are either the best shot ever, right? I mean, she's like, or no one can shoot, like literally, like
Star Wars.
Right, I mean, or Star Wars, but I mean every war movie for years where the guys would just run in a zigzag and literally they're just bullets just sort of explode at their feet and nobody.
I
James
hate
Bond
that.
movies,
Yeah,
yeah.
I hate that. A couple of things, again, the James Bond thing. You got the big redhead don't try to get a confession out of him or whatever you're going to do, and intelligence and stuff. Enhanced interrogations. Enhanced interrogations is going to work. He's already got 10 arrows in him. Shoot him in the fucking head, okay?
Right.
Like, that guy could come back to kill you. He's a big redhead.
John shot him like that was something. He was willing to shoot him.
Shoot him through the eye socket, okay? And if I'm Mance Rayder and I see Jon Snow coming, like I said, shoot him through the eye socket. Which brings me to the giant. So they're gonna die. So 2 things. One, I'm at the gate. I think if the giant breaks through, we're all gonna die anyway, right? Do you see what I'm saying? If the gate's blown to smithereens, we're going to have 20 giants in here. We're all going to die. We might as well fight, right? And then second of all, with giants...
but they did all fight.
They did. Yeah. So because somebody was saying, why bother staying? The big oath and who gives a shit, right? But I think who gives a shit if you run? Then you're going to lose anyway.
Well,
right?
yeah, but at least then you're fighting the little wildlings rather than fighting a giant
but
running
you're
at you.
Have
like
to fight him eventually if he breaks through all the gates.
Still, it's human to be scared.
No, what I would have done...
No, seriously. Like, Tormund's last name is Giantsbane. That dude kills giants.
Yeah.
Well, he also says he fucks bears.
The one giant.
We know he doesn't do that.
The one giant, the one pussy giant, just got felled by one arrow, and he was like, whoa.
Well, it was a fairly large
Not an arrow. It was a ballista bolt, I think, but it was gigantic.
So you
right.
say.
No, but what do you do with a giant?
Look it up. I don't know.
Give him a giant drink and send him on his way.
No, you do the same thing you do with a giant as ironically Mountain did to Oberyn. You do one of two things, and Oberyn did to the Mountain.
But you hamstring him and then you talk him to death?
hamstring him, right?
Yeah.
No, you cut his legs out,
Right.
Or you eye gouge him.
Yeah.
So I would have climbed that gate and I'd be like, come here, giant. Whoa, stick you right in the eye. Do you see what I'm saying? Because then you get in his brain. Everybody's
You
got
would
an
either
Achilles heel.
be the greatest warrior the wall had ever seen, or the first to die.
No, I would have backed up and I would have thrown my sword and then been like, it didn't kill him. I'm out.
They would be calling him Jake of the Loud Mouth.
I gotta go back.
All right, go ahead.
No, you know what somebody would say to me? You didn't fuck a bear.
But you know,
I don't want to hear about giants you didn't kill.
you know, it's a different age now with the nuclear weapons and conventional use of nuclear weapons, maybe, and bunker busters, nuclear weapons that are okay, right? It's
They're
great.
a different name. They're fine.
Right, and drones and so forth. But like, nothing. This proved what is actually true, and it's true about the giants because it was true about the wall. Nothing's impenetrable. Nothing is impenetrable.
See, so again...
Except maybe where, what's her name is? The Eyrie, right?
Eyrie, yeah.
So, okay. So, look, whenever I look at something as a strategist,
Right.
a fantasy strategist,
Oh my God.
I always think, what is their greatest strength? It's also their greatest weakness, right? So, like everything, like if you're fighting the Mountain, he's slow. He's gigantic. Don't go anywhere near his hands. Don't go anywhere near his sword. But he's slower than you. If he's big, he's slow. If he's quick, he's small. You see what I'm saying? So the wall, hit the fucking gates. You gotta hit the gates.
Well, they were
you see
hitting
what
the
I'm
gates.
saying?
They blew up the
Climbing the wall
mammoths.
is fucking
You
madness.
gotta
Are you
do
crazy?
everything.
But they
I
also-
also think about when you attack a castle. You try to batter down the gates, but you also put the ladders up. Like you gotta split the defenses, or else they'll just all pile into the.
wall still has a small door.
Right. I mean, you're criticizing Mance, but John is like, they've got it won. It's just a question of when now.
Yeah. All right, I hear you guys on that. So why didn't I love this episode? My favorite part of Vim's is the intrigue.
It's it.
Yeah. Right. And it's not for Ingrid.
Right.
Or Ygritte, I should say. It's intrigue, and there was no intrigue here. There
was no intrigue either.
right. So
Intrigue.
So there was a lot of great fighting. There was the Giants. I love the Giants, and and it was cool. But I'm like on pins and needles. Is Tyrion gonna die? What's the next machination? Like a wall's a fucking wall. I mean, I like the strategy part of it too.
There was the line to get Jaina Slint to go down so Jon Snow could take over, and that's a little bit of intrigue.
It's Game of Thrones. Its worst episode is still better than anybody else's best episode. Okay. But still, like, I wish there was a little bit of intrigue.
There's a storytelling problem that they had to take care of, and it was this story. Like, it's this army that we don't really know and don't really care about, right? Not nearly as invested in. And they're going to storm this wall that I'm not sure we care about that much either, except for Jon, John's storyline.
Maybe Sam.
And Sam, who they've turned into a very compelling character, but because he doesn't belong, because he's the fish out of water in this with these he-men sort of defending the place. But they've got to take care of it. So from that point of view, I don't think we're going to get much of the wall in episode 10. Like, I
No.
think it ends with some negotiation, or maybe he's right, killing Mance causes it to fall apart. Obviously, you guys to some extent know the answer to this, you two, but like, they needed to get this out of the way. I don't think we're going to get a second straight episode taking place mostly at the
I know,
wall.
but that's why I feel like we've
that.
hit the pause button. I
Well-
can't wait for episode 10 because that's where
okay.
the real
But here's the
action is
thing,
going to happen.
like, there's important stuff that happens in this episode that is important to. It may not be important to us as viewers, but it's important to this world, right? I mean, what's basically happening is that to put in a historical perspective, you've got the northern kingdoms of England overrunning Hadrian's Wall, right? So it's like the Roman garrisons that are supposed to hold off the Scots and the Picts are getting overrun, and all of the colonies. I mean, as much as Bolton has what, like probably 10,000 people. Mance has got 100,000 wildlings, right? Those wildlings will sweep through those kingdoms.
But
And I know it doesn't matter to, we're like, who cares? It's Ramsay Bolton's people. We don't give a shit. But that's a big deal in this world, and they have to burn an episode with these developments and putting it in the perspective of why it's important to Jon, because if the wildlings cross that wall, it puts a lot of pressure on Stannis and King's Landing and everyone down south, because all of a sudden they've got a war on their doorstep.
They
I'll say two last
They might
things.
have to unite in the same cockamamie way to some extent that these guys
I mean, you almost
united.
have to think about it is in Paris, it may not have mattered if people were having a battle at the Berlin Wall, but if the Berlin Wall suddenly falls in 1960s Paris, believe me, everybody in Paris can be like, oh shit, that's a problem.
Yeah, there's no question. That's why I want the wall to fall, right? Like I said, no, because like as a storytelling thing, like what is a more interesting story? Oh, they held the wall, so then the wildlings are irrelevant, the North is irrelevant, etc. Or oh shit, the wall has fallen. Here comes the wildlings. Here comes the White Walkers. Let's have some fun.
Could a significant storyline of the show be the need for the Seven Kingdoms and its disparate powers, including the Khaleesi, to unite to defeat now all of a sudden this 100? Because I said in the beginning of this, probably incorrectly, that eventually they'll meet an army they can't beat, but maybe not. They're 100,000. Maybe there is no army they can't beat if they get through this.
Well, what I've been saying for a long time is, it's a story of fire and ice. Will the ice take the wall already and sweep on down? And what are you doing in Marine? Khaleesi, sweep on up. Yeah. Let's have a collision of fire and ice and have Stannis be like, oh, I finally won the crown. 1, 6, 3, 9. Right? On both sides, Malachi crunches ass.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody built that wall to begin with to keep something out, and it wasn't the wildlings. Right? That wall was built to keep the last generation of White Walkers out, thousands of years ago? Right? And everyone's in that time, everyone's kind of forgotten about it. And now the Walkers are back.
Maybe the fucking wildlings are going to end up defending the wall.
No, that's exactly what I meant to go to 20 minutes ago in this conversation, which is that the only other chance Jon Snow has other than killing Mance Rayder is, hey, Mance, now because you said it earlier in this review, why are you running? You're running and you united all these guys because the White Walkers are coming and no one could beat those guys. We need you on that wall. You're the only guy. Now, you can't beat him without the wall.
I'm not going to reveal anything.
Okay.
Your eyes. It was your eyes.
Okay.
No, I smiled because I looked at you and I knew you were looking to see if I'd reveal something.
Right. But Mance
That's totally
Rayder,
true.
who I think, I'm saying because of how he united the 100.
He's also not a nothing character. He can't just go away.
Right. Mance Rayder is the only guy.
I mean, what character cannot just go away? Come on.
I just feel like as an actor, I feel like as an actor.
They cast Sean Bean in the first season and they killed him off halfway through the season.
Pedro Pascal.
Well, that's a fair
last
point
week.
too. Okay. Anyway,
That was to
safe?
get us. That was to shock us.
right. But to the Mance
Do you think
Rayder.
anyone's safe? Come on.
No, he's not safe. But I wouldn't be surprised because of
We
who
all
it
know
is.
Caesar gets killed.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're
Mance Rayder, with the help of a wall, could possibly hold off the White
and
Walkers.
we talk about the wildlings going down and eventually fighting and stand. They don't give a shit. They don't want to go to Oklahoma City or wherever the fuck it's called. What's it called?
I think that's what it is. I think it's Oklahoma City. You got it.
I nailed it.
Duluth.
King's Landing?
King's Landing. They don't want to go. They don't want to go to the cap. I knew it was a capital. They don't want to go to King's Landing. I thought it was city for a brief. I lost it. I'm sorry.
King City.
They don't want to go to King City. That's not what they're in for. They want to stay where they are. They just want to be left alone, right? And they want some land, presumably, where the giants don't have to mess with the keepers from Star Trek, with the bald guys,
Fens.
right?
Yeah.
You know, so.
The Klingons.
The Klingons, right? So that comes from, and they can get that at defending the wall, but they don't want Marine.
No, the problem with that is you're probably right, but we're probably right. The only problem with that is that here are guys who are into freedom and not at all into duty, and you're going to sign them up for like the biggest duty there is.
But like the
in both meanings of the word.
But then, yeah, but I mean, it was defended. It was defended by criminals. So I think they're perfect for it in a sense.
Can I just
And by the way, suppose they eliminated the nonsense duty part of it. Whatever, they could still defend it if they're good fighters. Who listen to orders. That's it. That's all you need to do.
So one defense I want to make of the episode, because I was surprised to find out that you didn't really like it, because I felt like we were on the edge of our seat, we were laughing the whole time. So Vims is obviously those very important elements of every good episode of Game of Thrones. But one thing that we don't get enough of: violence, intrigue,
mystery, and sex.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones is almost the only thing that's a grand slam that has all four almost at 100%.
What's the difference between intrigue and mystery?
So mystery is, I wonder what's going to happen next. Intrigue is Varys versus Littlefinger.
Interesting things are happening now.
Right.
Yeah.
Intrigue is backstabbing.
People are plotting against each other.
Yes.
But there's a C as well that we don't often get, and that's comedy. The show is not particularly funny most of the time. There's sometimes Tyrion will make funny cracks and stuff like that. This episode, at least in the first half, is one of the most consistently funny episodes. Like we were laughing pretty regularly for the first 30 minutes.
Matt and I. Go ahead, sorry.
I just think that that's not something we get often enough, and I think that was one of the strengths of this episode.
We should still do it. We should still be the ones to put up the Game of Thrones with a laugh track. Like I think it would be funny.
That old shitty MASH soundtrack.
Totally, yeah.
You know
really,
nothing, Jon Snow.
You never fucked a bear. By the way, just real quick, Ben and I did this history of the popes like a million years ago when the last pope was Habemus Papa, right?
Yeah.
Not Francis, but the Benedict, right? And now I found it on the internet, and so I don't. And then back then the internet was even fishier, okay? And it didn't have great sourcing, but it said the popes. First of all, they would go back and forth. One of them would be gay, the other one would be straight, and the gay guy would be like, "Being gay is totally fine." And the straight guy would be like, "Nonsense. Being gay is totally outrageous and against Jesus Christ." Anyway, one of them was so crazy and into partying that the legend was he fucked a bear.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
And
that.
George R.R. Martin gets a lot of things from history, obviously, as you're talking about with Northern England, etc. I don't know if that's where he got it from.
And with I was telling either Matt or John, and with the eye gouging and that fight, there's a lot, both from some historical record, but some legend of classic sort of big fights and squares where the head cut open and the brains come out. Combine that with one eye being gouged, that's clearly drawn from. Obviously, a lot of it's just legend, but it's legend that was written down.
Look up Pope Bearfucker III.
So very quickly then, was the Aemon Targaryen scene important? Who he loved? Is that a relevant piece of information that we're going to get?
They won't tell us, and I have no idea.
So it has to be because they didn't tell us. It has to be at least.
You think so? It could have been just a story like.
It could have.
Like the Beatles story.
Interesting look into what he thinks, but also it's part of Sam's development, maybe.
That's one of the things I wanted you to remind me of, the Aemon Targaryen. Why did he get wind up at the wall?
He willingly defected. I knew at one point exactly why, but I don't recall if they've explained exactly why.
It had to do with the line of succession, and he basically abdicated his right to take the throne.
But do we know why?
No,
it was just because he wanted to serve.
Maybe because of the girl.
Maybe
because it was.
Or
love.
maybe he just wanted to be a Maester.
Duty. Love is the death of duty. Must have been.
Must have been the girl.
Yeah.
Must have been the girl.
Yeah.
So they've just.
Don't wrap up just yet.
Okay.
Well, covered in the upcoming book.
I wonder if it was the Tyrell grandma.
Oh, it was Diana Rigg. Nice.
That'll get covered presumably in the upcoming book, because the next book is not going to be one of the novels. The next book that's coming out is a history of
It's like
Westeros.
a catch-up, right?
Yeah,
That's nice.
it's-
I'm gonna read that.
Yeah.
Oh, you I really enjoy reading fantasy. In my free
We
time.
rely on the guy for all that we know, and then we make fun of him.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think I enjoy making fun of anybody more. So a couple things. One, as
You're
we
like Tyrion.
George W. Bush. So what we learned from Mad Men this year too, and I loved Mad Men this year, but like some people didn't, and I found myself defending it with a line that we stole from, I don't know, maybe Brian Fuller, who came on as the EP of Hannibal, who was came on in our discussions of Hannibal. Like, if you believe in a show, if it's a show you like, you got to trust the show. So you're not supposed to like it's not going to be like that episode was better than the one before, and that one was better, and that was better. They had stuff to clear up. This went a long way toward getting them in a position to safely move on to the thing that we're waiting for. Tyrion, you got to trust the show with these guys. You got to trust them.
This is a housekeeping episode,
So
right?
it was a supremely violent housekeeping episode.
Okay.
Amongst housekeeping episodes, I really liked it.
Yeah, no,
we don't like.
I'll grant you that
Yeah.
it was the greatest housekeeping episode of all time.
Well, and really fast. So this is a fantasy show or whatever.
Don't
but
try
Game
and
of
change your
Thrones.
voice now when you say it.
I know.
This was a fantasy show, man.
really help.
Hey, man, it's a fantasy show.
Hey, you guys want to go have a fantasy?
Pass the beer. Time for fantasy TV.
Anyway, so Game of Thrones doesn't have nearly as much violence as like people who don't watch it probably think it does. In terms of like two men sword fighting for 45 seconds, like we've had like 5 of those maybe. Like, and the Jon Snow one, and we had Alistair Thorne versus Tormund, like both great scenes. We skipped over for some reason, but Jon Snow, I thought that was a pretty awesome fight he had. And when his head was slammed in that anvil, like he could have died shortly after that. Like he was being set up in a Game of Thrones way to die.
The Night's Watch, they apparently are ignoring concussions as much as the NFL. I mean, Jon Snow is injured, but no
Maybe
one
that's
is.
why he's making such poor decisions now.
Maybe so.
Yeah. So, but I only bring this up because we've only got one more episode now, which means that this is our last gap between reviews. Any final predictions for what's going to happen in episode 9? Like you mentioned before the review, both Jon Snow and Tyrion are up against impossible odds.
Right.
What do you expect or want to happen in this final episode?
So that's a great question. So we leave episode 9, which, by the way, I mean, so it turns out you all agree with me, because I was going to ask you episode 8 or episode 9. It's a no-brainer. Episode 8 was much better, right?
It was. Yeah. I mean,
It had the event.
It had an incredibly memorable event. Although I must say, episode 8 up until that point, it was very not much happened, and they didn't even build suspense to that event particularly.
Okay. All right. Now,
It was great.
so
Don't get me wrong.
Tyrion and Jon Snow, 2 out of the top 3 most important and likable characters at this point, are up against impossible odds.
Is Daenerys the last one?
Yes, Daenerys is the other one, right? So I said to John right as the show ended, well, that's the only good news for Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones will disappoint you and break your heart in 18 different ways. And when it looks like someone's about to win and you're about to get justice, they'll yank it away from you. But they might also do the reverse, right? When it looks like there's no chance of winning, all of a sudden they win. Okay, so
Unless they do the double reverse.
Yes.
well, that's also
shit,
true.
a triple reverse.
No,
maybe.
but that's also
I mean, that's
true.
what they did.
Because, like, in a regular show, there's no way Jon Snow and Tyrion die under any fucking circumstance, right? Oh, it's against impossible odds. I win everything.
I think Han Solo might die this time.
Right.
Yeah, except that dynamic, partially because of Game of Thrones, but starting with The Sopranos, has changed that. They kill characters
It's changed a
on
little bit.
shows. I mean,
Fargo.
Fargo has killed characters, but I mean, going back to Rescue Me, boom, 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 dead,
really?
dead, and they kill characters. The Shield killed characters. These great shows with great sort of peculiar, complicated
George's
leading.
died in Seinfeld. Yeah.
Totally.
That's what started it all.
Kenny.
Maybe Jon
He's died many times.
Maybe Jon Snow is going up to Mance Rayder with some envelopes. Go ahead, look at him. It's okay.
I think that I'd love to go back and watch it from season 1. That's sort of what now, seeing how the show has progressed, what really is a seminal scene between Jon Snow and Tyrion, Like they're outside. John's like getting water or working on his sword, practicing or something. He's like, and Tyrion, and they both they have the reject conversation, and they like each other, right?
So Steve-O is going back and watching the previous episodes, the previous seasons, and he says there are clues, etc., built into those,
Right.
Which then that you then see develop like 3 seasons later, which then makes Game of Thrones so head and shoulders above any other TV show that I feel a little bad for all other TV
I
shows.
think you should bring it down.
No,
Bring it down
it's true. Like I
25%.
like Mad Men. I like Mad Men. You just said like something that was going to give away something that happened this season. I haven't
Breaking
watched
Bad.
any of the
Yeah.
episodes this season yet. I thought, fucking spoil away. Like what difference? Mad Men. You kidding me, dog? Mad Men.
No, I disagree with you. I mean, it's just because you're wrong. I mean, look, I think in many ways, I see why you think it's the best. I might well think it's the best, although I'd still put The Wire, and I'd really put The Sopranos because to me, like, you don't get any of this without The Sopranos, without the willingness of HBO to make that kind of a show. And The Sopranos still, you watch an episode and you're like, that holds up. That is great
Yeah,
great
I thought
stuff.
for sure you were going to say Dallas.
Vims.
Dallas?
Yeah.
Totally. Vims. So much Vims in
By the
Dallas.
way, the
Yeah.
top 3, which I probably agree with, certainly The Wire's in the top 3, are all HBO.
Yeah, and to me, Deadwood cracks the
love
top
Deadwood.
5. So they're all the HBO still as good as FX has been, as good as AMC has been. It's still
Showtime.
But
to some
Breaking
extent.
Bad may crack the top 5. But again, the HBO started it, and they've earned it, and they've earned the right for me to give a shot, as long as it isn't totally vampiric, to watch any show they put on.
Right. So
I get what you're saying.
yeah, that's
It's
the
not-
only
it's
one I
not
haven't
terrible
watched.
early on.
True
No,
Blood,
I've seen one episode. It's totally good. I'm just not going to watch it.
Right. Okay. So my final thought for today is, I'm so afraid that between now and episode 10, some idiot is going to ruin it for me because I don't know what's going to happen in 10. That's why I was partly pissed about. Of course, it's a great episode in all the other ways that I've explained. That they hit the pause button in episode 9, which is supposed to be
You made it
usually,
a week, and you were afraid somebody's going to ruin it this week.
Right, like I said in another episode in another season of Game of Thrones, I want to fast forward my life to the next episode.
Don't read anything online.
We have
I know,
some,
but now I gotta stay
No,
off the
I have an
internet for a
idea.
week.
I have an idea. There is something. I think it's just for like web browsing, but it might do Twitter as well. Someone made an extension that's supposed to block as many spoilers as possible for Game of Thrones. That if it detects certain keywords, it changes the content of the message to something else. It's ridiculous, but it might be worth looking
Really
into.
savvy enough, man. They'll breach my gate.
What's our bet? We have a bet. We had a bet.
Oh, they're working on. He's working on that.
Oh,
Lawrence.
we got a clip coming up about that.
Did you win it?
We don't know yet.
I don't know. That's
He's,
great.
he's got a scoreboard made though.
You know that the episode's in the can. You're an important guy. Call HBO. Give us credit.
Yeah. Obama
way. I
already
wouldn't
seen
want to
them.
ruin it. I want to watch it with everybody. I'm serious.
So, do you have a prediction on just a quick John Tyrion? Do they survive episode 10?
I'm such a sucker. Yes, they both survived.
So I'm with you. I think they both survive. But,
Yeah.
but unquestionably, that's influenced by my. Please let them survive this episode.
No, but I would have guessed that.
Here's the better
I would have guessed
question.
that Oberyn
But it's
survived.
but it's a
I did
no-brainer.
guess Oberyn
It's a
survived.
no-brainer, right? As to who, if one has to go, who do you want to die?
No, I don't know about want to die, but I know that that Jon Snow has to survive. So Tyrion is more likely to die than Jon Snow.
Why does Jon Snow have
Jon
to?
Snow and Daenerys have to meet at some point.
Here's the better question. Of the major characters, who do you think is the next to get it?
Oh,
That's a good question.
yeah, I don't know. But look, and one other thing is that it's not a spoiler.
down.
It's something that we discussed in the reviews. Like, and I don't want to say it again because we were so right, or Kim Horcher was so right about the Viper versus the Mountain, that kind of spoiled episode 7 for me.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I just thought of something.
Yeah, that somebody during these reviews said something about Jon Snow that makes me think he's not going to die. But I've been 100% wrong before. Right? So it's not a spoiler. It's not the guys who read the books. It's what we think we figured out.
I'm ready to make a prediction on who dies.
Uh-huh.
Jaime saving Tyrion, and he can't kill once he's down to one son. Tyrion lives. Jaime dies. For Tyrion, Jon sobs like a little girl.
Wait,
I don't understand. I don't understand what you did.
Hold on. Wait. I'm throwing down the hold on.
I just realized what you did there, and I will. No, wait. What exactly do you think is going to happen?
Jaime
Jaime
dies.
saves.
Jaime somehow dies in what is a sacrifice gets in a circumstance where he can sacrifice himself for Tyrion, knowing that somehow.
So then you go back to my original idea that that he had to be the champion because Tywin Lannister cannot lose both sons at the same.
Cannot lose both sons.
Okay.
Right.
I will not
but
confirm. I will not confirm or deny if that's going to happen. But if that happens, I can confirm I will cry.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to stop talking about it.
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't want us to stumble upon something that's true.
Right.
Okay. And
On our network,
Right.
we never want that to happen.
Dude, it hasn't.
which is super ironic.
Hasn't happened yet. I think we're okay.
Okay.
Listen,
Anyway, and
when you guys
I
find
gotta
out-
say, my little fantasy moment is that mean fantasy moment. Anyway, is that when you went because you thought you figured something out? I was like, all right, calm down, right? And then you said it, and I went.
Listen, when you guys find out that Varys still has all his parts, you're going to be shocked. Oh, wait.
This is going on too long. Our bet, though, was whether Tyrion's girlfriend was being true to him in some way.
That was one of our
That was
bets.
one of them, was whether she had a legitimate betrayal.
Okay, all right.
Okay, again, won't confirm or deny. But I will confirm that if you go to lexhead.com and there's a link in the description, you can find not only my White Walker Pride shirt, but many other Game of Thrones shirts. They've been consistently selling out thanks to these little plugs, but they get more in every week. They've got ones to represent like every house. They've got awesome Daenerys. They've got Tyrion's face. If you want to just walk around campus and show everybody that you love Game of Thrones too, head down there.
Okay, so I have two options ahead of me before episode 10, which is to buy a shirt from each house just to prepare, or wait till after episode 10 to be like, yeah, of course, I was Lannister, right, yeah, right, or Baratheon, I always meant Baratheon.
Important question. So we don't know, you might get another shirt before then, but if you don't, you've got the Lex Head Lannister shirt.
Oh, I got it.
Will you wear it? And if you do you think that could be some sort of jinx?
If Tyrion Lannister, I will find out. I'm not going to tell you. That's going to be another drama for next week. Do I wear the Lannister shirt? But if Tyrion Lannister dies,
more
I
exciting.
will, with that shirt, I will light the biggest fire the North has ever seen.
Biggest fire that Culver City has ever seen.
Okay, I promise I won't do that.
Okay, good.
All right, guys, great stuff as always. And until next week, some sadness.
Final episode.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Bittersweet.